on now. So thank you very much, Hina, for that one, because I forgot about putting it on. So I'm going to record it as well. So if anybody wants playback, I can do that. So I'm going to start off with a little presentation about Violet. And I'm just going to share the screen. And I'm back. Oh, at the wrong end of my, here we are. So this is welcome to 2023. So the color violet. So while you're looking at the screen, we've just got these colors moving, and it's a mixture of the blue and the reds for this year. So I decided, because I feel that it's a visionary year, that this is going to be called Visionary Violet. So we'll just let it run its course. So just a little bit about this colour. So first of all, how do we work out what the colour of the year is? Well, it's linked to numerology. So if we go back to the Greeks, and we have those to thank for numbers, there is a vibration in every number. So every number that we use has a vibrational quality to it. And I was talking with a colleague of mine about why do we relate it to the colour violet as the number 7. So when we add up the year 2023, it adds up to a total of 7. And so if you're speaking to any numerologists or you're into your numerology, then all the aspects of number 7 will actually be part of this year. We think that it actually came about when the numbers from the Greeks linked to the Ayurvedic and Indian traditions, where we started to see the chakra colours. So we look at the fact that we can link each number to a chakra colour. And it's nice because it's quite simple. It says that 1 is red, 2 is orange, 3 is yellow, 4 is green, 5 is blue, 6 is indigo, and 7 is violet. So it links into that alternative system of chakras and energy. So when we're talking about 7, we're talking about the colour violet, and it is the highest frequency in the visible spectrum. It's running up to a maximum of 750 terahertz. So that's really, really, really fast. So we know with this colour that actually it's high speed, short frequencies. So it has the ability to be quick. And when it's quick, it means that things are going to happen in quite a faster speed. It's also the shortest wavelength, up to 400 nanometers. And it's a cool frequency. So although the colour can be quite warm, it's a cooler frequency. And we know that it's linked to spirituality because it's our crown chakra that connects us up to the universal energy. So over the last 6 years or 7 years, we are getting faster and faster and faster with the frequency. And last year we had indigo, third eye, and you might have found the year to be quite tough. It's all about bringing things up from the depth. It's intuitive. And now this year, we're connecting from the crown up into the universal energy. And it's right at the top of the head. It's a colour that brings inspiration and ideas and visionary projects. I think it's quite interesting that people are like Elon Musk now with not just with Twitter, but Tesla and all those technologies. I expect to see loads more projects out that are going to be quite inspired, things that we've never really thought about. A lot of the projects taking place will be out of this world. So there's a view that we can really become and start to be inspired and becoming a little bit less worldly. Things become more speedy. So things are going to happen faster. Although it feels like the last few years have shot past, we're actually things are going to come in quite a lot quicker with this higher vibration. It's different from the last 3 years. In the blues, so if we think about green, blue and indigo, it's been about the heart energy to the third eye. So it's been about that part of our body, about what we speak, about the truth, about communication. Especially with the green, it's about the heart energy, the lungs, the breath of life. So it's still quite on a physical realm. This year, we're going to see things become a little bit more esoteric and on a more spiritual realm. It's an invitation to look within instead of being led from the outside. So it's about us receiving the energies through our crown chakra and actually deciphering those energies inside of us instead of actually doing what we're being told from the outside. So we are being able to look at what works for us, what becomes our truths. And therefore, there is a need for our sovereignty. And this is a time for us to grow. I think big questions this year. Who are we really? What does the world need me to be right now? So there's an option this year to actually start to be in our own sovereignty, really start to recognize who we are as humans, who we are as souls, but also remembering that our spirit is still connected to a higher consciousness. So although we've had lots of reports that that not many people are following religions, less than 50% of the population believes in God anymore, I think we're going to have quite a strong spiritual revolution, which is us actually finding out who we're really connected to. This color is so vibrationally fast and expansive that they are the things that we're going to ask ourselves. And this is about our sovereignty. So sometimes with sovereignty, it's about who are the queens and kings? What is our role as queens and kings or gods and goddesses during this year? So if you're in a community, if you're working towards your own sovereignty, this year is such fantastic energy to actually support that. It's a color for finding your tribe. Who do you want to be with? Who are you looking to share your time with this year? What type of people do you want around you? So the violet, we don't see huge amounts of violet in branding. Purple bricks is a very good example of that. But if we think about how purple bricks has been promoted, it's about individuals going to an agent to find out the price of their house instead of going to one big agent, one big corporation, one large estate agent. It's about you showing people around your house, not the estate agent. So it's the individual. What are we playing? What part are we playing in this part of our life? And how do we want to work with that tribe? How do we want to work with that community? So it's a great color for finding your tribe. So if you're feeling a little bit isolated and then just stepping out, stepping into what you really want, you can attract your tribe. Because this is a high frequency, you are pulling those frequencies towards you to allow you to manifest that. It's an invitation for doing things in a bigger way. What's your greatest dream? What I love about Violet is that there are no limitations. The world is your oyster. You can dream as big as you want to. So you can not just look for little picture, you need to look for bigger picture. Everything is going to be seen in a slightly bigger way. So it's about dreaming. It's a color that redefines leadership. So when we talk about leadership and leadership roles, and people that actually have affected our lives in leadership, it's actually saying, what part do we play in that leadership? Instead of it being just one individual controlling in a dictatorship, it's about sharing. It's about putting your own crown on. So we're looking at what parts people can play in the game of life, and how they can use their skills and their energies to lead it within the tribe with the things that they're doing. I think we have no doubt that we will see a breakdown in structures and top controlled institutions, where the heavy hand of you will do this will become much harder in a Violet year. Because we're all finding our power within us, within the Violet, we're reconnecting. With everything, there is always both sides. So with Violet, you know, it's an opportunity to redefine our leadership, but it's also a colour that can be used quite, I don't like the word manipulative, but you could just say cunningly. Yeah. It's using the mind, or you planting ideas that people can follow. So if there's too much Violet and there's not enough balance, we could have a little bit of a spiritual crisis. We could spend all of our time off the planet with all our beloved other beings out there and not actually getting on with the work that needs to be done here, not being grounded. So what we have to watch with Violet is that there's not too much. I think of it this way. Cadbury's use violet or purple as their key colour to a bar of chocolate. You know when you get a slab that it's going to be sweet and tasty within, but it can also be highly addictive. And also maybe it's got hidden things that are not quite so good for you. So violet implies luxury. It implies an offering of something amazing. Maybe kings and queens deserve that type of sugar taste, that high. But if we have too much of it, then eventually it's going to not be good for our health. So sometimes if we allow too much of the vibration in, then we lose the balance. So an element of manipulation or cunning or follow me, this is the right way, may also appear this year with the violet. It is quite an addictive colour. There's that great poem about purple. Once you wear it, you never go back, and only old ladies can wear it. So it's it has that quality that can be quite addictive in it. So it's all about the balance. It means we could put our head in the clouds and not do anything else. There is no doubt, whether we like it or not, there's going to be a more development of AI. Technologies that are going to be off the planet. Like I said, with the projects, you know, shooting for the moon, whether we've been, whether we haven't been, whether we're a flat earth, whether we've got a firmament, whether we're round, whatever it may mean, we are definitely going to have a development of technologies. So the digital revolution that is here will continue. Maybe our role is to think what was going to be of value to us and what is being used in a more manipulative way. And if we're in our sovereignty and we're in the element of connection, we will know and feel how that is. So the other thing that you don't want to be in a violet year is a shrinking one. So we can be shrinking violets. We can go and hide away. Violet is fantastic for being charismatic, but it can also be a place to hide behind. And so if you don't wish to be a shrinking violet, don't give away your power, just be awesome. And this is the year where you can do that. You're not balancing other things. It's a little bit of a year of where the indigo is more structured. This is a little bit more of you can dream big, you can move out big, you can see much higher ways of doing things. You can open up yourself to lots of different things, but you need to also rest in your power. So there's no being a shrinking violet. I put here, buy a crown, wear it often, and remember your power. And you can either just visualize a crown, or you might be able to use a crown that you see on the top of your head, or you can actually physically have a crown and be the queen or the goddess or the king or the god for the year. I think it's very interesting that, wow, we have a violet year, we have a new king. Our violet queen of Elizabeth II passed away in an indigo year, but the coronation won't be till May, and therefore there is a new king, a new realm. So that's going to also be very interesting. Just to say that I break down the years into different, so each month has a colour within the year. So January and February are magenta and gold. And we're revisiting a few issues that are around from November and December last year. So if you feel like you're wading through treacle at the moment and you can't move forward, for those into astrology, it's a retrograde Mercury. But it's also a repeat of November, December last year in the colour world. So we're revisiting issues, the monetary, the crisis, the energy, government, NHS. There is a repeat of the November, December in January and February. So although we've got violet coming in and things starting to be inspired, we still have energies around that are from the previous year. Once we get to March, way hey, exciting, we are going to red, and that is new beginnings. And that's where we're going to see change take place. when we bring red and violet or purple together, it's really powerful. And the red is about grounding, keeping us attached to the earth. And the violet is allowing us to make the connection. With the colours that we've got in November and December, they're high colours. So everything is up in the higher echelons at the moment. So come March, you're going to feel a pull of actually coming down into yourself, into your groundedness, and that will make a smooth connection up to the crown. And then we can start moving forward with new ways, new ideas. The community focus, everything is going to start to be decentralized. So charities, local authorities, assemblies. So what do you want from your community? So we're going to be asking each other as individuals what we want from that community, less from the controlled area and much more into that community function. I put this in because I felt it was quite relevant that Saturn moves into Pisces on the 8th of March, which deals with blood, immune system, alternative health options and well-being. And Saturn is the planet of constraint and doing things right. And once it starts to move into there, we will see different things that we can create from our immune systems, alternative health. So many of you here that are into the healing, into the alternative, once we get into March, that's going to be a big change. There's much more movement forward for that. Fear is going to be released during 2023. But because this is such a high frequency, we could feel quite vulnerable. So our vulnerability is going to be part of that question. In other words, I'm going to release everything that happened in the past and let go. But now what do I do? So it's that start of that feeling vulnerable. When we go to 2024, we move into magenta. And that is transformation. So that again brings a lot of power. And so this year we're preparing, we're being inspired, we're downloading our information of how we can transform ourselves to be ready for maybe a slightly different existence moving onwards. And 2025 is gold. It will be a completion of a cycle. And these are colours that are right up above our body. Magenta is in our aura and gold is right up through the stellar gateway. And so we've got 3 years now where the expansion is huge. September is a double violet month. So we have a month of violet and we also have the year of violet. And because we're then moving up into the higher colours again, we might find those a little bit more difficult than the earlier part of the year. So from March through to September, it's not things as usual, but we will have a lot more ease to actually build things that we want to, be inspired, rethink about what we're doing. When we get to September, we have double violet. So we've got 2 lots. What a time to meditate. I mean, that September, the autumn solstice is going to be powerful, very powerful. And the amount of light on the planet through that energy is going to be even bigger than it was this last 2022. But we might find it becomes a little bit more difficult because it comes a bit more heady. It's up there in the higher echelons. Sometimes higher frequencies can create more distrust and anger because people don't know what to do with that energy. So what we need to do is know that it's violet, and therefore we can use it in a very compassionate and empathetic way. Violet rules the colour of compassion and empathy. And that's going to be big for 2023. We're all going to start feeling it. But the negative, or the other side, can be that there could be a little bit more distrust. And I put anger, but vibrational energy around it. I'm hoping, and I said this a long time ago when we got to this year, that there is going to be a spiritual wave. More people are going to understand their spirituality, their spirit of themselves. More people looking for gems and stones, looking for colour, light, aromatherapy, homeopathy, all the things that are vibrational, high frequencies. And for those people that are aware of their spirituality, it's just going to evolve. It's just going to become more. For those not, it may be a little bit more challenging, as there may be things that will happen to try and wake them up to that spirituality, who they really are. And I think during the whole year, we're going to have that all the way through. I expect to see more teachers, more people facilitating change, more spiritual connection. So these are my key takeaways. Be the light, stand your ground, be solid in your beliefs, make sure you understand your sovereignty, and then shine like a beacon. This is your year to do that. You do it anyway, but this is your year to really do it. Crown yourself and set your wildest dreams alive, owning them and just doing it. Bring empathy and compassion to those that are living in the fear and negativity. Who and what does the world need me to be? Now, I got that from Mark Wentworth today. I thought it was amazing, so I did add it in. But for me, it's about sovereignty. View what you have been disillusioned with and bring in inspired ideas. So I'll put violet brings spiritual awakening. It is used as the connection to the divine source. Many more people will see that their connection, they will start to see it, understand what that connection is. There's going to be loads more information on frequency, vibrational and energy healing, new technologies, all using different fascinating techniques. So if anybody's into the med beds and all of those sort of areas, the fact that it's going to become really well known, more about frequency and vibration, to know that those are things that are going to actually help us heal ourselves physically and emotionally and spiritually too. But there will be much more gadgets around that will be able to do that. I know Ruth is on this call with me here, and part of the International Light Association that I'm part of, and we're both part of, we both sell light frequency lamps. And so we know that that is becoming more and more popular. It's been around forever. It's always been here. But this need in violet to actually connect to that vibration is much more powerful. I think we might hear a little bit more about the galactics this year. Who and what is on the planet? So if you're into your ETs, your off-Earth star seeds. If you're into the Galactic Federation, I think we're going to see a lot more information about those technologies, but though that style of life as well. There's definitely more films being made again, not so much as science fiction now, actually becoming more stories about the experiences. So there's definitely going to be more connection to anything else out there that might be out there in the universe. So I wouldn't be surprised if we find different parts of spaceships, or NASA let us know a little bit of information, but maybe we also experience that energy. Maybe we experience the fact that we see other energies around us. What I think is really interesting, and just listening to the astrologers, you know, we're moving from the time of Aquarius, of Pisces into Aquarius. This is the big, you know, change in Earth itself. And for 3 months of this year, we will have Pluto going into Aquarius, and only for 3 months, and then it comes back out again. Now, Pluto's that big outside planet that has an impact on where we go with our future. And so it takes hundreds of years for it to actually move and come into our orbit. At times, looking back, astrologers that have looked back on the past, the alignment of the planets this year happened before. And one time of those was when the Magna Carta was signed and introduced. So if we go back and think about what the Magna Carta is about, it was about giving the rights, the unalienable rights to the people. So at another time, Edward I brought in common law. And again, the planets were in this alignment. So Ray Merriman, if you want to look him up, he's a really interesting astrologer. He's the one who's aligned all of that. So again, we're in a time where the individual, the people, need to be able to say what they need, what they want. So the fact of that we've been ruled for so long may definitely be changing. And we most probably know it is on a day-to-day level, but the planets were aligned in the same way as they are now over the next 5 years. And, you know, it's going to take Pluto till 2044 to actually get into the right orbit. So it's not going to happen overnight. So for all of you that know your colour, this little bit you can, but for those people that haven't done it before, each of us has our own colour. And it's taken from our life path number. So basically what you need to do is add up your date of birth. So here I've got the 12th of April 1985. So 1 + 2 is 12. 4 is April. Then +1 +9 +8 +5. And that gives a total of 30. So then I have to add the 3 + 0 together to get 3. And that's my life path number in numerology. In colour and colour therapy, we use it as our colour personality. It's who we are. Now this one, if you get stuck, do put it in the chat, because Nikki may be able to have a look and just see, or help you add up as well. But so if you've got a pen, you can calculate your colour based on this numerology. Okay. Quite a few people I know that I'm seeing know their colours. If you don't want to do that, you can go to my website, www.thecolourministry.co.uk, and there's a little app in there that will tell you your colour as well. So once you know your colour, then once you know your number, then you can relate it to the colours. So basically you've got number 1, which is red. So if you're a 1, add up to 1, you're red. 2 is orange. 3 is yellow. Have to do that because otherwise you can't see the yellow on the white background. 4 is green. 5 is blue. 6 is indigo. 7 is violet. 8 is magenta. 9 is gold. Okay. So if you found your number, then here are my keywords for you for your colour. So red, your keywords for the year are: I can use my colour to stay grounded and secure in my convictions. What we love about red personalities is it's a grounded colour, a solid colour, a doing colour. So this year, the red is perfect for the violet. So instead of being away and up in the crown, it will actually allow you to stay on the ground. Orange, number 2. If you're a number 2, orange says, I can let go of any negative patterns and be of service. I love violet and orange together. It can be quite dramatic. So it's letting go, and that helps in that violet. Orange is all about being the fun colour. If you're a yellow, number 3, I can be inspired and comfortable if my plans are altered. And I should have put there even, sorry. I can be inspired and comfortable even if my plans are altered. So violet's complementary colour, the opposite of it, is yellow. Yellow is the planner and the organizer, the person putting everything logical into place. The violet is the inspirational, so it's the other end, so it's the complementary. Now, what I'd say very much for this year is if you feel that you are being pulled away with the fairies with that violet energy, then yellow is such a great colour to bring you back. Yellow will automatically take you into your solar plexus area, into your gut area, and it will sort of rebalance you. This is where the balance comes in. So you don't have to necessarily wear the colour, you can have it around you, because 25% of what you look at is for vision, 75% is a vibration for the body. So you can use the complementary of the yellow to help with the violet. So our next one, number 4, greens. Greens, I can open my heart to being what the world wants me to be. The hardest thing I think for greens is because it's a heart colour, is actually showing and allowing that vulnerability out. And then we have blue, number 5. Blue, I can speak out with confidence about my ideas and truths. And the number 6, now I couldn't do it as indigo because it sinks into it, but I've done it as white. Indigo, I can face any fear of the unknown and be liberated. As we said, we came out of an indigo year in 2022, and for indigos, the year was very much about structure, and indigos love that ability to feel structured, to feel safe. So the violet has that opportunity to actually liberate. Violet, in a violet year, it is my time to be the god or goddess of my inner kingdom. So all you lovely violets out there that are super sensitive to everything that is around you, this is your year to be the god or goddess of your inner kingdom. So that's number 7. Number 8, the magentas. I am inspired to put into practice all my hopes and dreams. Lovely magentas that are constantly negotiating their way through life and following, they're a bit butterfly, so they like lots of shiny things, so they can be inspired this year to put into practice all their hopes. And finally, for the number 9, the golds. Who does the world want me to be, and how can I serve? Golds tend to want to be here for service, to support as many people as possible. But in the violets, what it allows is the bigger picture instead of just the individual picture. So it's starting to bring in that bigger picture qualities. So there's a Rumi quote. This also came from Mark, which I loved. And it says, the universe is not outside of you. Look inside yourself. Everything you want, you already have. And that's so violet because it's about the connection to everything. And I mean, famous violets are Shakespeare. He was probably the most famous violet. And if you think about all of his plays, he channeled them. This is a year where things can be channeled: music, art, writing, sculpting, all those things. They come from the higher self. And we're starting to really tap into that in 2023. That is the end of my little presentation on violet. What I was going to add to it is just before I finish with it, okay, so if anybody's got any questions, we can ask it. If anybody would like a calendar for every month, I have my normal calendars. If I can, I will put the link in the email with a copy of the slides. So if you'd like to, if you want to purchase, I think they're £6 plus postage and packing, and they have everything month by month, all the different colours month by month, but with the violet backdrop. So they're available at this moment in time now. Does anybody have any questions? Because I'm very happy to answer. Just wave and I'll unmute you. Or is everybody really quiet there? I hope that was a little bit of inspiration for what Violet is going to bring. Just before anybody else goes, I have got one more thing that I just want to add. Now, it's a poem by the Oriah Mountain Dreamer, so you might already know it. But I just thought this is so Violet that I would just put that in at the end. So if you've got just 2 minutes of this one, you can just sit back and relax and listen to it. But it says, it's called The Invitation. Some of you might already know it. It doesn't interest me what you do for a living. I want to know what you ache for and if you dare to dream of meeting your heart's longing. It doesn't interest me how old you are. I want to know if you will risk looking like a fool for love, for your dream, for the adventure of being alive. It doesn't interest me what planets are squaring your moon. I want to know if you've been touched, if you have touched the center of your own sorrow, if you've been opened by life's betrayals, or have become shriveled and closed from fear of further pain. I want to know if you can sit with pain, mine or your own, without moving to hide it or fade it or fix it. I want to know if you can be with joy, mine or your own, if you can dance with wildness and let the ecstasy fill you to the tips of your fingers and toes, without cautioning us to be careful, to be realistic, to remember the limitations of being human. It doesn't interest me if the story you're telling is true. I want to know if you can disappoint another to be true to yourself. If you can hear the accusation of betrayal and not betray your own soul. If you can be faithless and therefore trustworthy. I want to know if you can see beauty even when it's not pretty every day. And if you can source your own life from its presence. I want to know if you can live with failure, yours and mine, and still stand at the edge of the lake and shout to the silver of the full moon, yes. It doesn't interest me to know where you live or how much money you have. I want to know if you can get up after the night of grief and despair, weary and bruised to the bone, and do what needs to be done to feed the children. It doesn't interest me who you know or how you came to be here. I want to know if you will stand in the center of the fire with me and not shrink back. It doesn't interest me where or what or with whom you have studied. I want to know what sustains you from the inside when all else falls away. I want to know if you can be alone with yourself and if you can truly like the company you keep in the empty moments. I just thought that the poem was just Violet. It just spoke about those Violet feelings, the inspiration, the spirit that Violet brings. To be in our compassion, to be in our empathy, to be there for people. And so very powerful, and I'll attach it into the email as well, if you'd like a copy.
Alison, we have 2 questions.
Yeah.
So Alison, would you like to ask your question?
Yes, thank you. You've answered one of them, Alison, and thank you again for a lovely presentation. Thank you for the poem. That was one thing. I need to see it. Thank you. So I shall look forward to that. And the other thing is, in one of your presentations, you said, have a look at my previous thingy on January, email or video that you had done. How do we get those previous emails, those previous
videos?
Yeah.
They're up on the Colour Ministry. I'll put the link in the email as well.
Lovely.
So they're up on the Colour Ministry and they're in the Colour Months.
Great. Okay. Thanks a lot.
There.
Thank you.
No problem.
And then we have a question from Sandra, I'm not sure how to pronounce it.
Yeah, either's fine. No, well, it wasn't a question, just to say that was really wonderful, Alison. I really, really appreciate it and really enjoyed it. Thank you.
No problem, Sandra. I'm glad. Enjoy your holiday in South Africa, which is where you're off to, aren't you? When? Tomorrow?
Yeah, I was just actually typing to Nikki because I just heard her little accent. Yeah, my son's getting married there, so yeah.
Oh, how wonderful. You'll love it. You'll fall in love with it. You won't want to come back.
I've been there twice before. He was in a coma a few years ago. He's a kite surfer, so but he's
Wow.
fine now. So I have been there. It's very beautiful.
Wow, beautiful. Enjoy it.
Thank you. Hina, has asked a question about, can I link to the lamp? Yes, I can put the links to the lamp as well, and they're also on the website as well, so with details. And if anybody would like, I mean, I'm trying to do once a month a free webinar like this. So I've done some with colours, some with the colour of the month, some with the lamp, some with, so just watch out on Eventbrite, but it'll also go into the newsletter. And I do like free presentations on the lamps and the different colours, what colours do, how they heal. So just keep your eyes out for those free. But I mean, if anybody really wants to study colour, that's my core business. I can see a few people that I've trained before on here as well. So yeah, I'm happy to talk to anybody that would like to know more about colour itself. But I'm very excited for this year. I didn't say that about indigo last year, a bit more, although I love indigo, is very intuitive, but I feel this year we can really connect and receive information about the vibrational elements of who we are as well. So I think it's going to be powerful. So very exciting. So I'm wishing you all the best in 2023, and any questions, I am here to ask me, alison@thecolourministry.co.uk, for those that don't know me. So, and thank you for your time. So I'm 2 minutes over the hour, but I thoroughly enjoyed doing this kind of work with you all. So, and any suggestions that you'd like to hear, that would be, I would be happy to do that too.
Alison, we just have one more question, and that is from Diane. She said, could you do her personal chart for this year? So she's just asking that question before we go.
Yes, yeah, I can. So yeah, if anybody wants their transition and personal chart, just to let me know as well, and I can look at that as well. So yes, I'd love to do that, Diane, and catch up with you again soon. So yeah, it would be very good to speak to you soon. So each year people go to me, what are the colours going to be good for me individually? Because you also have your individual colours as well. And you only don't just have one colour, your personality colour, your day, your month and your year are also colours that affect everything. And you can have a reading for, I know it's a good hour to know how your colours work, how they can help you, how they support you. And then if you really want to, you could do all your family and find how you connect with them at a colour level, or not, as the case may be. So do go to the website. Everything is on there that I actually do as well. So thank you. Anybody else? No, we're all good. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, Ali,
Yeah.
does everybody know about the event
Oh, yeah.
coming up in March?
Yeah, well, they won't know because we haven't put it out. But on the 26th of March, we're doing an event at Field Place in Worthing. So I know for some people that may not be, but we've got a whole day of colour and light and sound and other vibrational therapies. But we're looking for it to be, it's a bit like conference. It's not a fair. It's a conference stroke information day. And there will be information. So next week we'll have all the flyers ready for everybody. But if you want a date for the diary, then 26th of March. So that's when the clocks fall forward. No, go back. I always get the two mixed up. But for that day, we will be Colour and Light and the sound event in Worthing. So we'll send you more details about that as well for it. Yeah, thank you, Ruth, because Ruth will be there with her wonderful tools of animal healing as well as human healing, or
Yeah.
And we have a sound bath. We have we'll be using the Healy. There will be demonstrations. You will be able to have treatments. We'll have all the lamps. We've got people doing colour readings, and we've got some other vibrational therapy healers coming in as well. So should be a day to really open up that vibrational healing aspect of life. Yeah, thank you, Ruth, for that. Spring forward. Thank you, Susan.
Yeah, it is. It will be lighter.
It will be lighter. Yes,
So,
it's the spring forward, isn't it? So yeah, with it too much violet now, you see, all in the heavens. So yeah, we have that event running as well. Okay, ladies, and there was a gentleman, but good to see you all, and I wish you a nice rest of the evening. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Would you like to stop the recording, Ali?
Oh yes.